Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Learner to Leader, CMI in the Workplace. I'm Claire. I'm one of the event managers at CMI, and I'll shortly be handing over to Joe Lavelle, our Student Engagement Manager. Just a reminder to submit any questions or comments you may have in the chat facility to the right-hand side. We'll endeavour to answer as many questions as we can today. So without further ado, I will hand over to Joe.
Brilliant. Thank you, Claire. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session. Today's session is part 4 of a 5-part series called Learner to Leader. Let me just start a timer so I know how long we've done. Excellent. Learn to Leader. And Learner to Leader is all around how you on a CMI qualification can make the most of the support you've got available to you and really maximize the resources you've got and both applying them to your course and to the studies that you're doing and in the workplace as well. We've already done some deep dive sessions onto Management Direct and the Career Development Centre, particularly thinking about how you can support your studies and support your learning to develop your employability. But what we're going to do today is talk about CMI's resources in the workplace. So this is particularly applicable for those people who are doing a CMI course while they're at work, so perhaps doing a standalone qualification, for those who are doing apprenticeships, but also for members who are thinking about renewing their member journey with us at the end of their qualification. So how you can really apply the skills and support you've got from that CMI qualification moving forward into the workplace in the future. Next slide. So the first thing I would like to do is a short survey. So if you are on a laptop, can you open up another tab in your browser, or if you're on a mobile device, go to pollev.com/CMI events, and you will see a survey for you and someone to take. And it's really a good way for me to quickly gauge the awareness of CMI expertise within the audience. So on a scale of 0 being nothing and 5 being an absolute expert, if you could let me know how you would rate your knowledge of CMI and the things that we get up to, and then we'll be able to make sure that we answer all your questions, hopefully. So while you're completing that, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and what I do at CMI. So I'm a student engagement manager at CMI, and one of our roles is to support our learners to really make the most of that CMI membership. So whether you are just starting your career or your journey with CMI, or if you are in fact quite an established learner, maybe doing one of our postgraduate qualifications or one of the senior leader management degree apprenticeships, my role is to make sure that you're really getting the best out of those resources. So whether that's putting on events and webinars sessions like these, or new events that are taking place on your campus, there's lots of opportunities there for you to get involved with CMI and really make the most of what we do. Okay, perfect. We've had a few results start to come in, which is good. So quite a high awareness today for today's session, which is excellent. So hopefully this will really sort of polish up some of the information you've got. Hopefully you'll learn something new from this session and find out a bit more, particularly about how to directly apply some of the resources and support that we have. So who are CMI? Who is CMI? CMI are the Chartered Management Institute. We've existed for over 6 years now. And the main aim that we've got is to eradicate the accidental manager. An accidental manager is someone who is promoted into a role with management responsibility, but without the training that they necessarily need to be a very good manager. So it might be someone who has very good technical skills, or someone who has particularly worked at a workplace for a long time, they've got a long period of service, and they've been promoted for those reasons rather than necessarily being given the skills in how to manage and lead. It's not their fault, and it's really common. We think that around 4 out of 5 managers across the UK, I think, are accidental managers. And what CMI does is we provide training and qualifications that are directly aligned to our professional standards to ensure that managers are really given those skills that they need to succeed. You can see on the right-hand side the professional standards. They're that wheel graphic that you've got there. There are 9 key areas that we align all of our activity against, and they're broken down into 3 main sections: organisational performance, personal effectiveness, and interpersonal excellence. We know this is what makes a manager a better manager. And CMI skills and CMI qualifications enables you to learn and develop in these particular target areas. And once you've got those skills and you can reflect upon the way that you have developed them and you've learned about the impact that you've made, you can then apply to become a chartered manager. And Chartered Manager is chartered recognition of your management skills. It's a reflective exercise where you think about all of the ways you've made an impact in the workplace, and you can demonstrate to your employers and to your colleagues that you're meeting that industry standards for excellence in management and leadership really is. Chartered managers boost business revenues by £62,000 per year, and we know that there's a £22,000 boost to the UK economy from each chartered manager. So it's a really worthwhile exercise that we'll touch upon a little bit later, but definitely something for you to consider as you move forward in your career. CMI also support with research and policy as well. We work closely with the government, with other key stakeholders in business to really make sure that those standards of excellence in management and leadership are portrayed and are developed and are considered at a really high level. We've got some excellent resources that can really support with the external environment. We touch upon those later. And we make sure that where anything is coming up that might impact on management and leadership, we're able to support you to be the best manager that you can be. As a CMI learner, there's sort of three main ways you might be associated with us. So you might be on a dual accredited university course. This is where we look at your university degree and we map it directly against one of our qualifications. So we see what the learning outcomes are from your modules on your degree, see how they align directly to our modules, so you can automatically get that CMI qualification by completing your degree because you learn the same things. You get access to all the CMI's resources to help you with both courses and really make sure that you are able to get as much out of that CMI membership as possible. You might be doing a CMI apprenticeship, or CMI might be providing your EPA, your endpoint assessment, or you might be doing a standalone CMI qualification along your career. So you might be working with your employer who's put you on a certain CMI training course to help develop those management and leadership skills. We have qualifications from level 3 to level 8, and they deal with a whole range of management skills and practices. So if you've just completed one course, there'll definitely be a pathway for you to continue with CMI and continue to learn. There'll be different options for membership at the end of your course, and we kind of touch upon these a little bit later in the session. What you can see on screen is a snake graphic. We describe it as sort of the CMI snake, and it demonstrates the career journey that you undertake with CMI. Have a little look and have a read. Hopefully you can identify yourself somewhere upon that journey. The key with CMI is that we can support you at every single one of these stages. So whether you're an aspiring manager, a first line manager, or a chief executive, there is support there for you that comes from CMI. With our resources and our chartered status sort of demonstrating the excellence that you have, you can maximize your management potential and really ensure you're delivering maximum impact in the workplace. Hopefully you found yourself on there. Hopefully you can sort of see where you are and where you might like to go with CMI. What we're going to do now is do a demonstration of some of our resources that are really practical and can really apply into the workplace. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. Here I am, my very on-brand wallpaper behind me, and just share Management Direct, which you should now be able to see. Excellent. So Management Direct is the home of CMI's learning resources. It's a real hub of membership. It's got thousands and thousands of resources that are there to available to you and really gives you some excellent theory, but also practical application for that theory and ways that you can put what you are learning from your course and your learning outcomes into action in the workplace. There's a couple of things that I want to highlight here that I think are really excellent tools for you if you're in the workplace and thinking about how you can make the most out of your CMI qualification. So the first thing that I want to show you is browse by content type. What this does, it gives you all the content that we have available on CMI, on Management Direct. So there's lots of different things, different types of resources we have available, and this sort of outlines the ones that are available to you. There's three that I really want to highlight. The first one is checklists. Checklists are practical guides that you can apply into the workplace with key sort of step-by-step demonstrations of how you can do certain management skills and management tasks. If I click on View Content, it brings up all the checklists that we've got available. Here it is. So there's as it says, over 200 practical guides dealing with key management issues step by step. Now, these range from all sorts of things. So, for example, we've got the first one being organising the induction of new recruits, all the way down to managing your time effectively and brainstorming. The one I want to demonstrate today is around writing an invitation to tender. So this might be something you've been asked to do in the workplace and you're not necessarily sure how to start. If you open the checklist, it brings it up here. So we have an instruction as to what sort of writing an invitation to tender would be, defining exactly what that is, and then the action checklist below. And it is a step-by-step guide that you would need to go to while undertaking this task. Each of the sections can be expanded to have a bit more text and support for you. So there's some potential pitfalls that you should avoid while doing this task and additional resources that you can look at that might give you more support. So it's a great place to start, but these checklists are really directly applicable. And if you were looking for something to support you with this task and you weren't necessarily sure where to start, check out the checklist because they are really thorough step-by-step guides that can really be applied into the workplace. We also have templates as well. So if I go back to browse by content type, scroll down to CMI templates and view content here. These are actual examples you can use and directly edit and make sure that they're applicable to you and to your situation. But they give you a really great place to start. So for example, if I'm still doing that invitation to tender, we've got an invitation to tender template. If I open that template, it's here as a Word document embedded into Management Direct. Now you're able to either download this, export it to OneDrive, to Microsoft's cloud servers, or print it yourself, and then you can edit it there. You can see that it gives you all the detail you would need, and everything in italics is something that you would need to edit and to fill in yourself and to complete. So have a look at read it, but this really helpfully lays out exactly what you would need to complete to make sure that you're covering everything that you need to do for an invitation to tender. Finally, I want to show you the search bar as well. So there's different ways you can access this. So we've gone through browse by content type, but if I wanted to just type in tender, it brings up anything that we've got on Management Direct that is tagged with that phrase. And as you can see here, we have the template, the invitation to tender, the checklists. So we have both the writing the invitation to tender checklist that we saw, also a checklist to help consider around outsourcing, whether that's something you'd like to do, and some articles around tenders. One of the other things I want to show in a slightly different way is our models that we have available. So we have examples of practical management models that you can use in the workplace. That might be really helpful for you when you're coming up with certain projects, certain problems or certain situations. One of the ones that I want to demonstrate is Gantt charts. So you might be doing a new project that you might be in charge of, and you want to use some project management tools. The Gantt chart model is here, which you can open. It's got a demonstration of exactly what that model looks like, an introduction, but it also explains how it can help you and how you can really apply this and use this in the workplace. A lot of the things on Management Direct, a lot of these models and checklists are really designed to help you in the workplace. This isn't just a home for articles and books and resources that you can use in your essays or your projects or your written work. These are real practical examples of things that you can use when you're facing the management problems that you come up with. So have a look. I really recommend you explore this a little bit further and see exactly what is out there that you can use. If you go to learning resources and then standards, you can see the professional standards for management leadership. Now, this is the wheel that I spoke about earlier, and you saw this graphic on the earlier slide. This is what excellence is for management and leadership. These are the things that we know make someone an excellent manager, is having the skills and competencies in these key areas. Now, what we've done at CMI is tag resources against these key areas. So if you're looking to perhaps develop your skills, maybe as a result of a PDR, or perhaps you're thinking about working towards chartered manager status, you can click on each of these sections and find out some more resources around how you can develop. So, for example, you might be building relationships and networks. You might be thinking about you want to raise your profile and also build relationships within maybe your organization as well. If you click on that one, it explains further exactly what that competency is and has some keywords that you can search. So, for example, building relationships, if I click on that, it brings up everything that's tagged with building relationships. So I can apply that directly into the workplace. So whether it is templates on project plans, models, we've got checklists, ideas for leaders, webinars, all sorts of different resources that you can have a look at that will help you build those relationships and build your networks and your sort of presence at work. All these things should be really helpful and should be really linked to that chartered manager and that chartered development journey that we hope you will go on with CMI. We also have learning journeys. Now, learning journeys are like playlists of learning. They're structured, organized content that you can look at, access, and hopefully get some skills from. They're real curated pathways that will help you develop those skills. If I click on learning journeys, it's having a think. And there we go, learning journeys. So you will see ones that are relevant to the qualification you are on. So for example, if you're on a level 3 apprenticeship, you'll see this level 3 apprenticeship standard there, but not necessarily other ones, but you will see CMI learning journeys. And they're here as well to help you in certain situations. So you might be doing that project management that you had to look at the Gantt chart for earlier. Have a look at the learning journeys. You can start this journey. It tells you exactly how long it will take you to do. It's an hour and a half. And it's a curated playlist of learning that you can go onto and really understand further what it is that you will need to be doing in that project management role. Bringing in all different types of content to hopefully appeal to lots of different learning styles. There's lots here that are available on the learning journey, so please do have a look. We really want to give you and empower you to have the skills to really make an impact in the workplace. So there should be support here for you, no matter really what situation you are coming up with, whether that is a checklist, a model, one of our webinars, or a learning journey. So please, if you are coming up with any challenges or issues in the workplace, check out Management Direct. It's a really effective way to quickly get the answers that you will need. I say quickly, unfortunately, Management Direct's been particularly slow today, which isn't too helpful. Here we go. Okay, next thing I want to show you is the Career Development Centre. Now, I'm just going to have to stop sharing this screen or put it up here. There we go. You can now see the Career Development Centre landing page. Now, the Career Development Centre does have a lot of tools to help you get a job. So we've done a guided tour a few sessions ago where we talk exactly about the ways that you can use CDC to develop your employability, whether it's our CV Builder tool, CV 360. But it's also in the workplace as well that you can get some really practical help to reflect upon your skills and to how you can make a difference. The CDC is very much around developing yourself. It's not going to give you those practical skills like the models and the checklist that you can apply to certain problems, but will really help you think about how you can develop you and your performance in the workplace. There's a few things that I want to highlight here. So this screen you see is the My Dashboard screen in front of you. Now, these 8 tiles give you some shortcuts to some of our key learnings. And I want to show you the In the Workplace tile, which is here on the right-hand side. The things I want to highlight to you is some of the motivation at work and personal resilience. Now, these take you through to our career assessments, which are loading here. Career assessments are reflective exercises. They're quizzes and sort of series of questions that you can look at. And by the end of it, you will come up with a sort of tailored report with some personalised recommendations for how you can develop your skills in those certain areas. So, for example, scroll down to motivation at work is here. If I click on that, it takes me through to a little explanation about exactly what that is, and then you can take the assessment below. Go back to career assessments. There's quite a lot of them, so please do have a look. And they're all about making you reflect upon your experiences and become that better manager. So get that reflective sort of exercise undertaken. Think about exactly ways you want to improve and want to develop as a manager. hopefully some of these assessments will give you a really good starting place. If you go back to my dashboard, in the workplace, we also have an intelligent career quiz. Now, this is a way to think about the way that your career is developing and to make sure that your career choices and the decisions you're making are intelligently based. It's based around the ideas, if I click on Learn More, about knowing why, knowing whom, and knowing how. So the ways that you can make an impact in your career, and make sure that when you are making decisions that impact and influence your career, they are based upon some real sort of intelligent thought. Go back to my dashboard. Finally, I want to show you the Coping with Challenges and Changes tab. Now, what this does, it takes you through to some of our e-learning resources that we have here on the Career Development Centre. It's, as we said, it's not just around how you can get a job, it's how you can be really effective in that role and develop those skills for yourself. We have a lot of resources here, all tagged with Coping with Challenges and Changes. These are called learning paths. They're similar to learning journeys in that they're that curated learning that you can undertake all around a certain topic. Now, we have here things like coronavirus awareness, that's really topical and relevant to you, all the way down to coming things like understanding fear of change, how to survive and thrive in a changing world, loads and more. Personal agility, what questions do you ask? And as you can see here what type of resource they are. So they might be a video, they might be a course that you can go on, or they might be a book chapter, sort of an article as well. So no matter, again, what your learning style, we should have something here that can really help you develop those skills for yourself that can really make that impact in the workplace. Go back to my dashboard. We also have the leadership tile here. Now, this leadership tile actually takes you all the way through to those e-learning resources that are really based upon developing your leadership skills. So I'm going to click on Coaching Others. Again, takes you through to the learning pathway that can help you develop those coaching skills and make you really effective in the workplace. So to sort of summarize this then, so we've got Management Direct, gives you that real practical, applicable guidance for when you come up with certain situations that you need help with. Whereas the Career Development Centre is developing yourself to make sure that actually you can deal with those situations and you can handle them better and become much more effective in the workplace. Okay, let me stop sharing that and then bring back the slides. Here we go. Brilliant. So there's other ways that CMI can support you as well when you're in the workplace. So we have our Future Leaders podcast. Now, this is a review of the news that sort of affects managers. It gives you some insight into CMI resource and support and upcoming activity that might be happening that you can hopefully use to develop your skills and to demonstrate how you are becoming a better manager, perhaps as part of your CPD log, part of reflecting in that, but also just generally getting that external view of what is happening in the world of management. We have a Better Managers and a CPD newsletter. These resources come into your inbox every month, and then they've got those key tips. They're tailored for our different audiences to really support you to develop your skills at the right level that is for you. Again, this is curated learning. These are things that we are highlighting that can make you a better manager in the workplace. So please do have a look. Think about the ways you can develop the skills with the resources we're sending to you, and make sure you're reflecting upon the things you've learned and how you can apply them moving forward. We also have our Friday Better Managers briefing. This is where our Chief Executive, Anne Franker, meets with a high-profile guest to talk a bit around some of the wider management issues. Again, it's giving you that external view. Think about what are other organisations learning. Get that networking that you might not be able to develop at the moment due to perhaps not being able to do face-to-face activity. Use these sessions to find out what is happening in other companies and what exactly can you apply to your position in the workplace and to your role. They are every Friday. They're at 1:15, and they're broadcast on our YouTube, our LinkedIn, and our Facebook channels for you to find. The key thing is to remember that when you are in the workplace, it's not just on your course. CMI are there to support you when you need it. We respond to global events, so whether that's coronavirus or Brexit, we're there to help you navigate the challenges that you will be facing in the workplace. One example of this is the Better Managers Manual. So if you go to our coronavirus hub, which you can find on our homepage, managers.org.uk, you'll be able to download this and to get that support to really help you identify what is the new normal and make sure that you're becoming a better manager through this period. It's a great way for you to learn more about how you can continue that excellence in your role and support the organisations that you work in to go through these challenging times. After your qualification, you might be interested in becoming a chartered manager. You may be eligible to become foundation charter manager on completion of your course as well. And this is a pathway to becoming that full chartered status. We work with you to give you that professional development, utilising our resources and our key communities to really enable you to become the best manager that you can be. Once you've got 3 or 5 years of management experience, you can then take the assessment to demonstrate all the lessons you've learned and become a chartered manager. If you're doing your endpoint assessment, this will probably be already built in. And why would you become a charter manager? There's 3 key reasons you can see there. So we've spoke earlier about the impact on business and that 62,000 sort of pay rise that businesses get. There's the 22,000 impact on the economy that each charter manager has, but also there's a pay rise for each individual that becomes a chartered manager that they have it seen through our research. So it will help you, it helps your organisations, and it helps the wider UK economy. So to access the resources that you have seen and I've gone through today, there's 2 key ways to do it. So Management Direct, you might be logging on through the manchester.org.uk homepage. If that doesn't work for you, your learning provider may have a different route available. So make sure you use the right one that is there for you. For the Career Development Centre, there is a link there that you can access, which is cmi.careercentre.me. You'll be asked to then log on and you can then access the Career Development Centre, or you can do it through Management Direct in the way that I demonstrated earlier. We'd love to stay in touch with CMI. Hopefully this is just the start of your CMI journey. There's lots of different communities you can get involved with here, so please do take a look and join the run that is appropriate for you. I'm sure these slides are shared after the session, so if you want to access any of our channels or networks, you'll be able to find it from there. And then finally for me, it's another one of the surveys. So if you could go back to pollev.com/CMI events, it'd be great to get some feedback for you on how you find the support that is offered by CMI. So if you could, this is going to generate a word cloud. So just type in some words around what you feel around the support that CMI offers you in the workplace, just so we can get a bit of an indication as to how you find it in the audience. And while we're doing that, Claire, I don't know if it's a good time for us to run through some of the questions we've had in.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, we've had a couple in. One on the chat from Izzy. The recruitment and selection assignment, the training company we use don't seem to have the resources the assignment is looking for. Can I find the relevant information in the checklist section?
Hopefully. So, I mean, the best thing I would recommend is that obviously I'm not aware exactly about what situation you're referring to, but I would explore that you do go through the resources available there in both the checklist and the models, or think about the keywords and search those using Management Direct. Everything that we have on Management Direct is tagged. So if there is a certain sort of topic that you can look at, so I believe it was recruitment and selection, then go on to Management Direct, type in recruitment, type in selection, see what comes up, because hopefully there'll be some resources there that can really help you in the workplace.
Thanks, Joe. And a pre-submitted question that we had, someone on a level 3 apprenticeship, basically just wanting to know what opportunities are there once they've completed the level 3 apprenticeship.
Okay, for sure. So once you've completed your apprenticeship, you'll be eligible to become that foundation charter manager. And I really do recommend that you do that. So you'll get lots of emails from communication from us exploring what those next steps are. But becoming a foundation charter manager gives you that tailored pathway. So we will really support you to access our resources, whether that's Management Direct, Career Development Centre, the events that we've got taking place, our regional activity, to make sure that you're able to make the most of that CMI membership. And you really got the opportunity to develop and to demonstrate the impact that you're having as a result of your CMI qualification. Once you've got that, you'll then be able to think about how you can apply to become a full charter manager, or perhaps support you if you want to develop, maybe do a level 5 qualification afterwards as well. So there's lots of different pathways that you can go into that hopefully will be really helpful for you in the workplace and support you going through your professional development.
Brilliant. Thanks, Joe. don't think we've got any more questions coming through. We'll just leave it a couple of seconds just in case.
Cool.
But as Joe has mentioned, you will receive a follow-up email with the slides and a link to the recording. But thank you all for joining today. Thanks, Joe, for the brilliant webinar and information. And we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.